The air was crisp. Leaves crunched underfoot. It was Halloween in Everwood, and the whole town was ready. Main Street was a sea of orange and black. Streamers flapped in the wind. Jack-o'-lanterns grinned from every doorstep. The annual Pumpkin Festival was here. Kids in costumes dashed about, eager for candy. Families strolled, admiring the decorations. The scent of pumpkin spice filled the air. It was a perfect autumn night. But behind the cheerful facade, a shiver ran down some spines. A shadow lurked beneath the merriment. The legend of Pumpkin Hollow whispered through the years. It was a tale whispered, never spoken aloud. A tale of a curse, a witch, and a hollow full of glowing pumpkins. Beyond the warmth of Everwood lay a darkened path. It snaked through the woods, leading to a forgotten clearing. This was Pumpkin Hollow. Legend claimed a witch had been wrongly accused there centuries ago. The villagers, blinded by fear, had banished her to the hollow. Her dying curse echoed through the ages. She cursed the land, vowing vengeance. Now each Halloween, strange pumpkins sprouted in the hollow. These were not the plump orange pumpkins of the festival. These were black as night, pulsing with an eerie inner light. Villagers whispered of the witch's magic, trapped within the hollow. They warned their children to stay away. The curse of Pumpkin Hollow was not to be trifled with. Four friends stood at the edge of town, where the streetlights faded into the encroaching darkness. The air was thick with anticipation and a hint of fear.
Dare you to go to Pumpkin Hollow? It's Halloween after all.
Emma, the brave one, dared her friends with a glint in her eye. She had always been the fearless leader of the group, the one who pushed boundaries.
All right, I'm in. Let's see what all the fuss is about. Lucas's voice was steady, masking the slight tremor of excitement and fear.
Lucas, always up for a challenge, grinned back. He never backed down from a dare, especially not one that promised an adventure.
I don't know, guys. What if the legend is true? Sarah's voice wavered, her eyes darting nervously.
Sarah, cautious but curious, hesitated. She had heard the stories, the whispers of what lay in Pumpkin Hollow.
Oh, come on, it's just a story to scare kids. Jake's tone was dismissive, but even he couldn't hide the slight edge in his voice.
Jake, the skeptic of the group, scoffed. He prided himself on being the rational one, the one who didn't believe in ghost stories. Could a legend be true? The question hung in the air, unspoken but felt by all. They were about to find out. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, they steeled themselves for the journey ahead. Tonight, they would face the unknown. The path ahead was shrouded in darkness, the trees looming like silent sentinels. Tonight, they would enter Pumpkin Hollow, the place where legends were born and fears were realized. It started as a dare, a test of courage on Halloween night. But it was quickly becoming something more, something that would test their very limits. As they stepped onto the path, a sense of foreboding settled upon them. The air grew colder, each breath visible in the moonlight. The shadows seemed to reach out, hungry and alive. Every rustle of leaves, every snap of a twig sent shivers down their spines. They were not alone in the forest. Their hearts pounded in unison, a symphony of fear and excitement. They had dared to enter, and now there was no turning back. Together they moved forward, each step taking them deeper into the unknown. The legend of Pumpkin Hollow was about to come to life. The moonlight filtered through the trees, casting eerie shadows that danced and flickered. The forest seemed to be alive, watching, waiting. And so, with a mixture of bravery and fear, they disappeared into the darkness, ready to face whatever awaited them in Pumpkin Hollow. The path was narrow, the trees closing in like grasping claws. The wind moaned through the branches, whispering secrets in a language they couldn't understand. Deeper and deeper they ventured, the festive lights of Everwood fading behind them. The darkness was almost complete, broken only by the sliver of the crescent moon. And then they saw them. Hundreds of black pumpkins littered the ground. They pulsed with an eerie internal glow. An unnatural silence hung in the air, broken only by the sound of their own breathing. The air grew heavy, thick with anticipation. They had found Pumpkin Hollow, and it was just as creepy as the legend promised. Section 5. Carving Trouble. Emma, ever the leader, pulled out a small knife. She chose a pumpkin, its black surface smooth and cold. As she carved a jagged grin, a cold wind swept through the clearing. The pumpkins around them pulsed brighter, their light seeming to throb with a life of its own. A low hum filled the air, growing louder with every passing second. Fear, cold and sharp, pierce through their excitement. The shadows around them seemed to writhe and twist, taking on menacing shapes. The temperature plummeted and the scent of damp earth filled their nostrils. They had disturbed something ancient and powerful. They had awakened the curse of Pumpkin Hollow. Section 6. The Witch's Plea. A swirling mist coalesced in the center of the clearing. It formed a figure, translucent and shimmering. The figure of a woman, her eyes burning with a cold fire. This was the Witch of Pumpkin Hollow, her spirit bound to the land. She spoke, her voice a mournful whisper that sent shivers down their spines.
I did not curse the village out of spite, but out of despair. Betrayal and injustice have bound me here. My only desire is to break free from this spectral prison, to find peace at last. The key to breaking the curse lies within a single golden pumpkin hidden within the hollow.
Section 7. The Golden Pumpkin. In the heart of the eerie pumpkin field, a legend whispered through the winds. It was said that a single golden pumpkin held the power to change destinies.
The teenagers exchanged nervous glances. They hadn't expected this. The field was darker and more ominous than they had imagined.
They hadn't expected to come face to face with the witch herself. Her presence was both terrifying and mesmerizing, her eyes glowing with an otherworldly light.
But they couldn't leave her now. The witch's plea for help was genuine, and they felt a strange sense of duty.
They had to help. The bond between them grew stronger as they realized the importance of their mission.
Driven by a newfound purpose, they spread out among the black pumpkins. Each step they took was filled with both fear and hope. Their fear was still there, but now it was mixed with determination. They knew that finding the golden pumpkin was their only chance.
They searched for what felt like hours. The darkness seemed to stretch on forever, and the pumpkins all looked the same. Each black pumpkin looked the same in the dim light. It was a daunting task, but they couldn't give up.
Hope began to dwindle. The weight of the task was starting to take its toll on them.
Just when they were about to give up, Jake stumbled upon it. His heart raced as he brushed away the dirt. Nestled amongst the black pumpkins was a single perfect golden pumpkin. Its glow was unlike anything they had ever seen. It glowed with a warm, inviting light, a stark contrast to the eerie glow of the others. This was it, the key to their destiny, the golden pumpkin that would change everything. Section 8. Trapped Souls. As soon as their hands touched the golden pumpkin, a wave of energy pulsed through the clearing. The black pumpkins shattered, releasing wisps of white light. These were the souls trapped by the curse, finally free. They swirled around the teenagers, a vortex of gratitude and peace. Then, with a final blinding flash, they were gone.
The witch stood before them, her form now solid and real. Tears streamed down her face, tears of relief and joy. She thanked the teenagers, her voice filled with emotion. They had freed her, and in doing so, they had freed themselves from the curse that had haunted Everwood for centuries.
Section 9. A Village Redeemed. The teenagers emerged from the woods, blinking in the sudden light. The villagers gathered at the edge of the forest gasped. They had heard the commotion, felt the shift in the air. They knew something had changed. The teenagers told their tale, the story of the witch, the curse, and the golden pumpkin. At first there was disbelief, but the fear that had always clung to the villagers was gone. In its place was a sense of wonder, of relief. The curse was broken. Pumpkin Hollow was no longer a place of dread. It was a place of redemption. Section 10. A New Legend. The next day, the village of Everwood celebrated. The air was filled with laughter and joy as the villagers gathered in the town square, which was adorned with vibrant Halloween decorations. The Pumpkin Festival had always been a cherished event, but this year it held a special significance. The Pumpkin Festival was even more joyous than before. The streets were lined with glowing pumpkins and twinkling lights, casting a magical glow over the entire village. Children ran around in their costumes, their faces lit up with excitement, while adults shared stories and memories of past Halloweens. The teenagers were hailed as heroes. Their bravery and determination had saved the village from a dark fate, and the villagers couldn't thank them enough. They were showered with applause and admiration, their names becoming synonymous with courage and heroism. Their story became a new legend, a tale whispered with admiration and respect. Around bonfires and at gatherings, the villagers recounted the events that had transpired, ensuring that the bravery of the teenagers would never be forgotten. The legend of the Golden Pumpkin and the witch who had been freed became a part of Everwood's rich tapestry of folklore. And every Halloween, they would return to Pumpkin Hollow. It became a tradition for the teenagers to revisit the clearing where their journey had begun. They walked through the spooky forest, their hearts filled with a mix of nostalgia and pride, not out of fear, but to leave a single golden pumpkin in the clearing. This act was a symbol of their victory and a tribute to the witch who had been freed. The golden pumpkin glowed softly in the moonlight, a beacon of hope and a reminder of the courage it took to face their fears. A reminder of the witch who had been freed. The villagers believed that the golden pumpkin held a piece of the witch's spirit, now at peace. It was a symbol of redemption and the power of forgiveness, a symbol of the courage it took to face their fears. The teenagers stood tall, their faces reflecting the determination and bravery that had carried them through their ordeal. They had faced the unknown and emerged victorious, their bond stronger than ever, and a testament to the power of hope, even in the darkest of places. The moonlight bathed the forest in a serene glow, and the teenagers felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. They knew that their actions had made a difference, and that hope could shine even in the darkest of times. The curse of Pumpkin Hollow was no more. The once eerie and cursed forest had transformed into a place of tranquility and beauty. The villagers no longer feared the woods, and the legend of the curse became a distant memory. In its place bloomed a new tradition, a celebration of bravery and the enduring spirit of Halloween. The village of Everwood embraced this new tradition with open hearts, celebrating not just the spooky and mysterious, but also the bravery and resilience that defined their community. Halloween in Everwood had become a time to honor the past, celebrate the present, and look forward to a future filled with hope and courage. Like and share for more.